Bumalik pa rin po tayo dito sa Harapan 2015 at kanina nga narinig na natin ang mga kasagutan ng ating mga kandidato para sa mga katanungan ng ating mga panelists at ng ating mga kapwa Tomasino. Ngayon naman kasama pa rin natin si Rosales at Ana Mangalili ng mga kumakandidato para sa pagkapresidente ng Central Student Council. Ngayon naman, aalamin natin ang mga katanungan ng mga Tomasino sa ating social media. At kasama natin dyan ang ating social media correspondent, Zeke Cabrahan. Zeke?
Maraming salamat din. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Pakinggan natin ang mga masasabi ng sa social media. Gaya na lamang ni June ang sabi niya, service is applicable. Despite the risk of opposition, candidates should learn to work for one another, for God and UST. Napakahusay ng opinion ng June. At ang sabi naman ni Denzel Ezretti, a discerning candidate who lives a better life than police and aims to serve the nations, not just to have a name. Tama. Napakahusay ng serve. Maraming salamat kay June at saka kay Denzel Ezretti at sa mga taong gumamit ng hashtag UST Tiger 2015. Kaya naman tumuloy tayo sa mga katanungan na kinilala sa social media. Tulad pa rin kanina, bibigyan ng bawat kandidato ng tig-2 minuto upang sagutin ang bawat katanungan. Para sa unang katanungan, ito yung pinadala ni John Arden. Ang tanong niya ay, ano ang proseso o hakbang na gagawin niyo para mas mapadali ang pagpasa sa UST Students Code? Muli, ano ang proseso o hakbang na gagawin niyo para mas mapadali ang pagpasa sa UST Students Code? Balik sa iyo, Denise.
Maraming salamat, Zeke. Para sa ating katanungan na iyon na galing kay John Arden, bibigyan ko lamang kayo ng 2 minuto upang sagutin ito. Rose V, 2 minuto, go!
Like what I said earlier, intensify the clamor sa mga students na to show na yung support nila sa students ko. We can penetrate the social media because it is an effective means in communicating sa students and in a way communicating with us kung ano yung mga sentiments nila. Also, kailangan ng constant na meetings with the administration para if meron man revision, at least ma-action na agad para hindi na matagal yung pagbasa ng students code.
Maraming salamat, Rose V. Ana, same question. 2 minuto, go.
Kung ano yung gagawin ko para mas mapabilis yung pagpasa ng students code is to consult the students. Kasi sila nga yung unang pinaka-maapektuhan ng students code na to. And kung hindi nila alam kung ano yung nilalaman ng students code na to, paano nila susuportahan yung urge namin na maipasa yung students code. Also, mag-organize tayo ng formal forum between the students and the administration para mapag-usapan na talaga kung ano ba talaga yung mga kailangan ng students and in return kung ano din yung kailangan ng administration. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Ana. Balik tayo kay Zeke.
Para naman sa susunod na katanungan, ito yung pinadala ni Edmar Tarukan. Ang tanong niya ay, being the CSC president requires decisiveness. Share some examples of ability and willingness to be decisive. Again, being the CSC president requires decisiveness. Share some examples of your ability and willingness to be decisive. Balik sa iyo, Denise.
Maraming salamat, Zeke. Ngayon naman, Ana, ikaw ang unang sasagot ng katanungan. 2 minuto, go.
Siguro yung naging decisive big decision ko sa pagtakbo nito ay yung pagiging independent candidate ko. Na alam ko ay madaming taong magpo-question kung bakit independent. Na maraming taong magsasabi na hindi naman talaga independent. Pero hindi eh. Independent ako. Pero big factor dito is hindi lang ako willing kasi able din ako. Importante kasi na willing and able ka. Hindi kasi pwedeng willing ka lang. Kasi willing ka lang hanggang kailan. At kaya mo lang hanggang saan. So, I'm proud to say na isa sa mga pinakamalaking decision ko ay yung pagtakbo ko bilang isang independent candidate. Kailangan ko maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Ana. Rose V, 2 minuto, go.
Concrete example that I can give you is that coming from a program wherein we handle the life of people being a clinical pharmacist, we make sure na lahat ng gamot na ibibigay namin for them is that ito yung mabisa. Madaming gamot, pero hindi lahat yun yung mabisang gamot para doon. Na kaya ko yung lies sa student council na there are many possibilities to solve a problem, but we must arrive to the best solution, best cure for the problem.
Okay, maraming salamat Rose B. At yan na nga po ang mga katanungan na ipinadala ng ating mga tumasino sa ating social media. At muli, nagpapasalamat kami sa mga tumasino na nakiisa at nagpadala ng kanilang mga katanungan. Patuloy pa rin po kayong mag-send at mag-tweet ng inyong mga opinion at komento sa mga kasagutan ng dalawa nating kandidato. At ngayon naman, sa ating bahaging ito ng ating programa, ibabalik natin ang kapangyarihang magtanong sa ating mga panelists. Ngunit sa pagkakataong ito, bibigyan natin sila ng pagkakataong magtanong ng 3 katanungan sa ating mga kandidato. You may address questions na general, and at the same time, you can address your question to a specific candidate. Okay. Bibigyan ko lamang din kayo ng 2 minuto upang sagutin ang mga katanungan na iyon. At sisimulan natin siya sa ating unang panelista na si Ms. Caro. Ms. Caro?
Hello, okay. So this first question is for Anna. I know that you have answered the question of the extent that you are willing to take para ipagtanggol ang rights ng students. And as you said, you are a student before you are a leader. However, what if there are instances na magkaroon ng conflict between the rights of students and the decision of the administration? Are you willing na kalabanin ng administration even to the extent of sacrificing your own graduation para maipakita sa lahat na karapat-dapat kang presidente ng CSC?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Carol. Ana, 2 minuto. Okay, Ms. Carol, will you repeat the question, please? Okay.
In the instance that there will be a conflict between the decision of the administration and the rights of the students, are you willing to sacrifice yourself or your own graduation just so na maipakita na karapat-dapat ka tawaging presidente ng CSC? Handa ka bang kalabanin ang administration?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Carol. Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
Thank you po for that question. So, rights ng students. So, ibig sabihin, may basihan tayo dito. At hindi naman naniniwala kung hindi aabot sa puntong kailangan natin makipag-argue sa administration. Kasi bilang students, may rights tayo na pwede natin ipaglaban na hindi na-offend yung administration na to the point na pati yung graduation ko, masasacrifice ko. Salamat.
Just a follow-up question for that. Kasi whatever is happening right now, especially with the students' code, we are already arguing with the administration for that. So I don't think that there is a basis for what you're saying na hindi natin kailangan makipag-argue sa kanila. So, isa pa sa advocacy ko yun, promoting the passage of the students' code. So how exactly are you going to do that if you are not willing to stretch the limits of your authority and of yung paninindigan mo para sa mga estudyante?
Yung pag-argue ko po sinasabi is yung to the point na parang nababastos na din yung administration. Nakala lang din naman magsasuffer yung graduation ko is ibig sabihin, meron din akong na-violate na rule na hindi na kasi diba in every right follows a responsibility na respetuhin din natin yung karapatan nila bilang administration. Na ang pinupoint ko lang po is pwede naman natin ipaglaban ng hindi tayo nagko-cross dun sa line na yun ng students and dun sa administration. Thank you po.
Okay, maraming salamat, Ana. Question for Rosie, Ms. Carol.
Okay, so Rosie, here's your question. As part of the incumbent executive board of the Central Student Council, what do you think are the lapses of the present administration that you plan to address should you get the presidency? Again, what are the lapses of the present administration that you plan to address should you get the presidency?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Carol. Rosie, 2 minuto. Go.
I envision a more unified. Kasi yun yung nakita ko na relapse ng past administration na there are times na we have to go to our classroom para may gagawin na mga projects and all that. But we are student leaders and we have this commitment. The students entrusted to us yung power. And yun yung gusto kong baguhin na dapat alam ng mga leader na kung paano balansehin para hindi nababaliwala yung rights ng mga student for a deserving leader who can really handle yung pressure. So I envision na magkaroon ng more unified council wherein kayang i-balance lahat yung mga pressure, yung mga priorities mo. Kailangan ko.
Follow-up questions.
As you said, we can see that you are not that unified as a student council. But I would just like to ask, why do you think is that so? Is that just because of your academic requirements that you have to fulfill? Or does that really mean that you have not dropped your colors even after getting into the position?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Carlos. Rose V, 2 minuto. Go.
Personally, marami nagsasabi na kailangan ibaba yung kulay. Entering the CSC, I feel na may mga kulay. And I am here, running for the position. This pure intention to say to you na by the time I want to, na ako'y ma-elect, I envision the council na equal. Equal yung tingin sa isa't isa. Because at the end of the day, students yung inisip mo. Salamat po.
Follow-up question, Ms. Pauline.
From your answer, dun sa pagkasabi mo na I envision an equal council, since na-envision mo siya, why were you not able to apply it? You were given an entire year, so what makes you think na with you as president, may ensure mo sa mga Tomasino na walang kulay pagdating sa loob?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Pauline. Rose V, 2 minuto. Go.
Personally, sabi ko na wala ng kulay. Na gano'n. But then mag-start talaga sa tao. But you can influence the person to change. And this power, I know na kaya ko. Lahat magagawa ko. And make those leaders realize na it is beyond politics. It is service.
Okay, maraming salamat, Rose V. Pangalawang katanungan.
This is for Anna. I would just want to know, how would you advocate for gender equality? Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Ms. Jess. Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
Thank you po for that question. Yung sa gender equality, supported ng isa kong platform, which is protection of students' rights and welfare and support for Tomasian diversity. Yung Tomasians na sinasabi ko dito is yung Tomasians with different sexual preferences, Tomasians with different religious beliefs or beliefs, and Tomasians with disabilities. Na hindi, kasi any story of discrimination is inappropriate po, diba?
Follow-up question from Mr. Nathan.
Kung nabasa mo yung ibang article sa Tomasino Web ata yun, meron yung gender neutral organization, I think it's HUE. It's an LGBT organization struggling for recognition. What do you think can you do para ma-recognize sila? Or ano yung maiambag mo since your battle cry is gender equality? Okay. What can you do to help you, the LGBT organization, para ma-expedite pa yung yung recognition nila?
Side note, if you're really an advocate of gender equality, it's sexual orientation and not preference.
So,
Thank you. Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
sorry po for that. Kung paano ko maipopromote yung you na organization for sexual orientation po. Siguro yun yung syempre first and foremost, personally, ako nga hindi ko alam kung ano yun. So siguro una is introduce natin sila sa Tomasians na kailangan lahat ng organizations dito have the right na ma-introduce sa Tomasians. Kasi Tomasians deserve a choice. Kaya nga ako nandito binigyan ko yung Tomasians ng choice. Na kahit na anong organizations, pwede nilang salihan without any discrimination na mararamdaman nila. Thank you po.
Follow-up question. Okay.
Follow up that one. There seems to be a contradiction between you and your advocacy given that you are advocating for something which inamin mo na ikaw nga, you do not really know everything about it. And then another thing is, how exactly are you going to promote gender equality, especially those with iba-ibang sexual orientations in a conservative environment such as the one that we have here in UST?
Thank you, Ms. Carol. Ana?
Hindi naman sa hindi ako ganun. Ang pinupoint ko lang, aware ako na may mga discrimination between doon sa sexual orientations. Pero ang sinasabi ko po hindi ko po alam is yung organization. Na aware ako sa aware ako sa mga nangyayari, pero yung organization lang po mismo yung hindi ko alam. And kung paano ko...
How are you going to promote your advocacy in a conservative environment such as the one that we have here at UST?
By exercising CSE as a policy-making body. Na right now CSE na come up with policies na mapoprotektahan ng mga estudyante. Thank you.
Comment lang. I really find it contradicting that you're an advocate of gender equality and yet at the very grassroots level, you're not even aware of an existing organization. Kasi para i-advocate mo siya, para ipakalat mo sa ibang tao, kailangan maalam ka dun sa isang bagay na I think is also a comment on your advocacies. You're not simply an advocate of something dahil lang, ito yung issue, you should address it. It should be really an advocacy kasi yun nga yung pinaglalaban mo yun, diba?
Thank you po. Okay, ngayon naman para sa katanungan para kay Rosie, Ms. Jessie.
I would just like to ask, what's the connection of putting the credentials of being a champion in the pharmacy, youth ambassador and ambassadress? And and then if may connection, I mean, kung yung pagiging champion ba or in this competition, paano siya connected sa pagtakbo?
Okay, Rosie, 2 minuto. Go.
This contest is advocacy-based contest. So, ang ginawa namin doon is to present a proposal wherein how can we uplift the pharmacists, the clinical pharmacists. So, that would fall under academic excellence. So, as CSC, you would also promote academic excellence.
Okay, Ms. Jessie.
So, this question goes for both of you. Aside from the Students' Code, ano yung magiging legacy nyo as a leader na pwede nyong iwan sa UST, or would you be just another face in the council? Thank you.
Okay. Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
Siguro yung legacy na may iwan ko is yung CSC Open Policy. Isa kong project. Ang concern ko kasi is nagpo-provide tayo ng projects which we are not sure kung yun ba talaga yung kailangan ng students. And the aim of this project is to know kung ano ba talaga yung kailangan ng students, kung ano ba talaga yung problema ng students. Pero I'm not saying na i-address natin lahat, na tayong student council ay mag-address. We will encourage the students na sila din, tulong-tulong tayo na i-address yung mga problema na yun. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Rosie. 2 minuto. Go.
I would want to leave quality leaders. Quality leaders na magpropromote din ng quality leadership sa university. And that kahit mag-graduate ako, kahit wala na sa UST, they will continue the legacy na mag-generate palalo ng mga leaders, not only here in the university, but outside.
Okay, maraming salamat, Rosie. Katanungan naman mula kay Ms. Pauline.
First question is for the both of you. I have noticed in your specific plan of actions, both are about almost same projects and both are concerned with social awareness of the Tamasha community. I think awareness is not enough. No, although it is a good thing na gagawin natin awareness, but what we want is a specific, concrete plan kung anong gagawin nyo after nung awareness. So, my question is, what are your follow-through projects after you make the Tamashan community aware?
Maraming salamat, Miss Pauline. Rose V, 2 minuto, go.
So, ang steps na gagawin ko dyan sa social awareness is first to educate. That, yun yung papasok yung awareness. Ano yung mangyayari sa social? Next thing would be, there would be the time na magkakaroon ng forums to express kung ano yung nararamdaman ng mga estudyante sa ganitong nangyayari. And lastly, to assemble, organize kung ano yung magagawa natin for that certain issue as students. Because at the end of the day, we are not only Filipinians, we are as well Filipinos. So yeah.
So, yung kung paano ko, after awareness, what's next? So, dun kasi sa project ko na Tomasino, anong say mo? After providing them with information regarding issues not only within the university, magpo-provide din ako ng pwedeng polls kung ano yung stand nila doon sa issue na yon, or debates para mapag-usapan talaga kung ano ba yung stand ng mga students, na parang magkalinawan kung ano ba talaga yung stand nila, or seminars para mas ma-educate pa tayo. Thank you.
Follow up to that question. Ang nakikita ko kasi nasa discourse level lang, asaan yung translation niya into practice. So yun yung hinahanap ko na specific plan of action niya.
Okay? So just take for example, yung Fallen 44. First, we must educate ourselves kung ano ba yung nangyari. And doon tayo magbibigay ng opinion. And how can we organize? Ano yung concrete na magagawa natin? Why can't we have lively ceremony to honor those people na nagsakripisyo para sa pakikipaglaban sa country natin?
Ana, 2 minuto.
To repeat the question, asan yung pagbaba ng intellectual theoretical discourse to a practical level? Asan yung translation niya into practice? Kasi puro discourse, seminars, and yes, people will be more knowledgeable about the issue. Pero at the end of the day, kung walang action na gagawin, asan yung translation niya? Asan yung effect niya? Bukod sa nalaman ng ibang tao.
So, paano siya ma-translate into actions? Siguro una, after yung discourse, mag-release tayo ng stand. As UST, not only as Central Student Council. And then from there, siguro yung mga may inform na students, malalaman nila na ganito pala talaga. So parang in a way, maapektuhan sila. And in a way, kasi as Student Council, we can only do as much. Hindi naman natin sila kayang hindi naman natin kaya sila i-force na ganito din yung maging stand nila. Na as student council, ang kaya lang natin, not restricting kung ano man yung kaya namin gawin, pero in reality, na we can only provide them with stands and information, and then sila na din talagang bahala May discretion na din nila kung ano ba yung gagawin nila. Thank you.
Okay, can I just have a follow-up question for that?
Okay.
Kasi, this is for both of you. Kasi, can you give a pressing social issue right now that we can have concrete solutions? Kasi, for example, yung example kanina ni Rosie about the Fallen 44, hanggang candlelighting na lang ba ang magagawa ng Tomasians?
Maraming salamat, Ms. Carol. Rose V, 2 minuto. Go.
Ang nagbigay kong issue ngayon is yung sa kanya. This is a call for all of us, the nations, to be peacemakers. Na ano yung magagawa natin. Dito papasok yung mag-organize tayo ng forums, gano'n, na we can come up with something na mag-voice out natin na we are advocating peace.
Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
So, kung ano yung pressing issue na, in a way, may encourage natin yung Samasians na gumawa ng action. Siguro ito na lang, for example, itong halala na to, na after namin i-present yung platforms, after namin ibigay yung projects na handa kaming gawin para sa kanila, siguro nasa kanila, sila naman yung may call na may gawin. Na i-elect kung sino ba sa tingin nila yung karapat-dapat na sa tingin nila yung may magagawa talaga para sa Central Student Council. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Sir Nathan.
Follow-up question regarding din sa mga previous questions for both. Kasi yung social awareness yung battle kayo yung pareho. Pero, the problem is, big word siya, idea, pero mahirap talaga siyang kunin or maging outcome. So, how are you going to break down the walls of apathy kung yung approach ng CSC is not inclusive at all? Like, for example, kung di lang nakakaalam ng presence ng straw bill, tinatanong ko yung iba, uy, alam mo yung straw bill? Hindi nila alam yung straw bill kasi wala silang knowledge of any kind. So how are you going to make an inclusive approach for both?
Thank you, Sir Nathan. Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
For me, hindi naman lahat ng students apathetic. Siguro nagkakataon lang na yung concern or issues ngayon is hindi nila concern. Na bigyan natin sila ng isang issue na concern sila. For sure naman mag-iingay sila, diba? Mag-react sila. So,
ano yung approach nyo para mas maging inclusive yung social awareness nyo?
So, meron tayong mga local student councils na dapat i-utilize na as Central Student Council, we should be able to make a relationship sa local student council. And yung local student council kasi yung nagre-represent sa college nila or faculty. And siguro it's the job of the local student council na i-inform din yung students nila regarding issues.
Okay. Rose V, 2 minuto. Go.
First, we must know, ano ba yung reason behind apathetic students? First, dyan nagpo-fall yung ignorance. So, dyan papasok yung information dissemination. Also, interest. Interesado ba yung mga estudyante sa gagawin mo? Diyan papasok yung active strategies na gagawin mo, not only passive strategies. You directly communicate to them kung ano yung stand mo dito. In that way, maralaman mo talaga, Tomasino, ano ba yung gagawin natin? Ano ba yung stand mo dito? Yun yung way para at least mag-break yung wall ng apathy.
Follow-up question.
Kasi sabi nyo, interest. So, sabi nyo, yung social awareness, depende yan sa mga students, para ma-break down yung apathy, depende yan sa mga students kung interesado sila. Pero isn't it your battle cry na gawin silang interesado in the first place? So, the problem is, yung students' rights and welfare, tingin nila, hindi nila interest yun. Now, how are you going to make it in their own, na parang in their best interest yung action na gagawin nila?
Rose V, 2 minuto. Go.
Simply by pointing out the significance, the importance kung bakit ba ginagawa in the first place ang students ko. Diyan nag-fall na it's a right. And it is a base, it is a concrete basis para sa rights natin. You have to point to them na ito yung mabe-benefit mo dito. Hindi ko ginagawa to para lang may magawa ko sa buhay ko. But ito ay ginagawa ko para sa'yo.
Ana, same question, 2 minuto. Go.
So, paano natin sila gagawin aware sa students' rights and welfare? Siguro, as student council, yun nga, first is consult them. Ano ba talagang problema? Kasi kung hindi natin ma-address yung problema nila, hindi talaga sila magiging aware na mawawalan sila ng gana kasi bakit hindi nyo naman pinapakinggan yung problema namin. So, students' rights and welfare na first and foremost, karapatan naman namin mapakinggan as students na kaya kayo nandyan, kaya namin kayo inelect is para magbigay kayo ng solusyon sa mga problema namin, which is yung covered by isa kong project, which is yung CSC Open Policy.
Follow up. Yung sabi mo kasi is parang yung sa you depend on the local student councils for the consultation. Ngayon, ano yung checks and balance nyo para ma-ensure that the local student council is doing that? Because as far as I know, walang nangyari consultation on our part regarding the straw bill. If meron man, it's not inclusive at all kasi pili lang yung demographic na kinukuha nila.
Thank you, sir. Ana?
Thank you po. Dun kasi sa CSE Open Policy ko, we will be providing free spaces within every college or faculty. Now we're in, hindi lang local student council representative yun nandun, pero central student council representative din. Para may assurance na ginagawa talaga nila yung trabaho nila. Not that I'm saying na hindi nila ginagawa, pero parang ma-sure lang tayo na kung ano man yung sasabihin ng students doon, ma-address namin. And personally naman, we are open na sa amin magsabi talaga yung students ng problems nila. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question, Rosie. 2 minuto. Okay. Miss Pauline.
Next question, this one is for Rosie. You mentioned earlier no, na as president, ang gagawin mo lang is to simply do your task as the Constitution says. Does that not make you a follower instead of a leader? Kasi hindi ba, siguro ako lang to, no? So maybe you can answer also what you think a leader is. But hindi ba ang conception ng leader is that if there are rules that are supposed to be changed, ikaw yung magte-take ng initiative na yun to change those rules, especially if those rules go against the rights of the students.
Thank you, Miss Pauline. Rosie, 2 minuto. Go.
So, sinabi ko yun dahil ayoko na mapasok yung personal agenda ko. Na ito yung pagiging student leader ko, ito yung as CSE president, ito yung gagampanan ko. And as CSE president, ipaglalaban natin yung rights in a way na is under the Constitution.
I'm sorry, but you just said something about personal agenda. Do you have a personal agenda aside from running for?
No, I don't have. But what I'm pointing out is that kapag nag-violate ka doon sa rules na yun, that means na meron kang personal agenda. Yun yung ibig kong sabihin. Kasi dapat, at the end of the day, yung students yung iisipin mo. Under the context na ikaw yung presidente, ganito yung gagawin mo. That not necessarily na you will be puppet doon sa rules. If you see na na-violate din yun, na hindi na-push yung rights ng students, then of course, you will stand against it, diba?
So you're willing to go against the Constitution if that means you get to stand for the rights of the students?
Okay. So,
it's a yes or no question here. Yes or no? Are you willing to go against the Constitution if that means you'll be fighting for the students' rights?
If deemed necessary.
Thank you. Follow up also to Rosie. You mentioned earlier when we were talking about the student code rather. Sabi mo, consistent meetings para pag may ipapa-revise ang administration, you can cater to it immediately, am I right? Ang question ko doon is, why will you accept revisions from the administration? Why will you accept revisions that will cater to the administration's wishes if in fact what you are fighting for is a student's code? Why do you not ask for the student, bakit hindi kayo magpa-referendum if I'm using Nathan, allow me to use Nathan's terms? Bakit hindi kayo magpa-referendum sa students kasi sila ang concern sa student's code?
Because here in university, since students' rights, you cannot set aside then yung administration na ato sila to moderate na hindi ma-overuse yung rights mo na parang total freedom na yung ito yung rights ko, ito yung rights ko, ito yung rights ko. Pero hindi naman kailangan gano'n. Dapat may limit din yun, di ba?
Yun nga, that's the point of the students' code, no? It's not to give the students free reign over the university, Dahil this is a private institution, we cannot deny that. But ang point doon is, if the revisions coming from the administration will at the end of the day not benefit the students, why will you be willing to still revise it? Maipasa lang yung students' goal?
No, kasi i-revise mo yung students' code para din sa mga students. But you are the reason why kinoconsult mo yung administration is that they are also affected by the students' code.
Okay, with regards to the students' code, yung question ko is, yung stance kasi ng CSE ngayon, as I read in the Varsitarian, is gusto muna nilang ipasa bago magka-referendum. Ngayon, paano ba kayo doon? Do you have the same stance na pasa muna bago referendum?
Pasa muna.
Why?
Kasi, nakikita ko na if mayroong revision, doon nag-arise yung mga problems. Kaya nagkakaroon ng revisions na eto, hindi to nasakop ng present provision. Parang gano'n. So, doon magpapasok yung revisions.
Ana?
For me, hindi mo lang. Siyempre, students code nga, it's for the students. So first and foremost, paano natin ma-address yung problema ng students kung hindi natin sila i-control dun sa laman ng students code? Thank you.
Thank you. Another question, Sir Nathan.
Yung sa'yo, Rose, kasi sabi mo, i-pass muna bago magkaroon ng revision. But don't you think na parang it's better to do it right than doing it all over again, submitting revisions? Kasi when it comes to the students' code, dapat talaga may bargaining chip yung mga students. Ngayon, pag-pass dun sa students' code, hindi ba pag pinas mo yan, mahirap nang i-revise yan? Kasi another consultation with the admins, gano'n.
For the past 10 years, nire-revise ang students' code. And based doon sa nabasa ko, enough na siya to be passed.
Well, that's in your opinion as a political officer. Pero dun sa grassroots level, yung mga kamanas ng certain parang irregularity sa kanilang freedom, at saka yung sa democratic rights nila, paano nyo ma-address yun na hindi naman commonly aware ang mga tao nasa posisyon dun sa mga plight ng mga tao marginalized sa baba?
So ganito kasi, yung mangyayari. If pinas mo na siya, na-address, may concrete basis ka na. Kasi yun yung mga sentiments ng mga students. At least somehow, na-address mo yung mga sentiments na ni-raise nila. But then, if kapag revise ka na revise, there is no concrete basis na parang kaya ipaglalaban ko yung karapatan ko. On what basis? Yun nga, diba?
Sige. Assuming na merong may student rights and welfare na, right? Pero it's a compromise between the admins and the student body. What if that compromise mas nabawasan yung bargaining chip ng students? Paano naman gagawin ng student body doon or ng CSE doon?
Of course, we wouldn't allow na it's a student's code and dapat na hindi mag-read yung admin.
But what you're saying is that ipasa natin siya para at least may napasa, right? Parang ganon, at least nandiyan na siya, pwede na lang natin i-revise. Tapos, ang sinasabi mo, dahil nandiyan na siya, ang tagal, ang daming i-revise pa rin naman, right? Yes. So, ang point doon is, bakit ka magpapasa ng isang gawa na but rather mas leaning towards the administration. Dahil tapos ang sasabihin mo at the end of the day is, don't worry, we can still revise it. Dun sa 10 years na pag-revise mo, what is the problem then? Bakit hindi pa siya na-revise bakit hindi pa siya naipapasa hanggang ngayon? That's for the both of them. What do you think is the problem?
Ana, 2 minuto. Go.
Yun nga, yung students code, yes, for the students. Pero Kasi, oo nga, para sa estudyante siya, pero sino din ba yung mga maapektuhan? Hindi lang naman din po kasi yung students. As well as yung other stakeholders. Kaya, kinoconsult din natin sila kasi tayo gumagawa ng students code, so medyo magiging bias din on our part na yun yung gusto kasi natin as students. Pero paano naman yung ibang stakeholders ng university? Thank you.
Rosary, 2 minuto.
I-reflect ko na lang yung question. Okay. For 10 years, kahit revise ng students, hindi na ipapasa ang students code dahil hindi siya ina-approve ng administration, right? What makes you think that even if you keep revising, if you don't meet the requests of the administration, i-approve nila doon? Hindi ba ang ending nito para ma-approve, kailangan din natin mag-bend sa gusto nila? How will you stand up for the students' rights then?
Dito na nga papasok yung student involvement to increase the clamor na meron na kailangan natin para maipasa yung students' school.
If I'm not mistaken, yun sabi nyo sa article is parang gusto nyo munang ipasa bago magka-referendum. Tapos ngayon, you're telling me na parang you're going to increase student clamor. Pero isn't it better if mag-referendum para ma-educate yung mga people bago ipasa yung students' code?
Okay, for the past 10 years nga, nirevise na siya. So, for that, nagkaroon naman din ng consultation sa mga students. And I think naman, yung mga admin is that hindi naman sila papayag na gano'n na lang na i-represent sa kanila.
So are you saying that mas matimbang talaga sa'yo ang pagpapasa ng students code kahit na it's not really for the students, just para lang maipasa siya?
No.
So what are you saying?
I'm leading for the students. At the end of the day, what I want is that kailangan ma-exercise nila yung rights nila with the Philippine basis.
Okay, so right now, alam ko, marami pang gustong itanong ang ating mga panelista. Meron tayong pagkakataon dyan sa mga susunod pang mga araw. Ngunit ngayon, okay, mag-entertain na lang tayo ng one last question from, okay, Sir Nathan, for the both of them already.
Okay, CSC has strongly been prioritizing activity-based projects rather than policy introduction and amendments. How are you going to correct this?
Okay, Ana, 2 minuto, go.
Thank you po for that question. Yun nga po, isa sa mga projects ko is protektahan natin ang karapatan ng pagkatao mo. How? Through exercising CSC as a policy-making body. Na hindi lang tayo dapat nagpa-project na sa tingin natin na kailangan ng project ng students. Pero dapat alamin muna talaga natin ano ba yung problema. And then we can address it by through projects or through policy making. Thank you po.
Okay, Rosary, 2 minuto, go.
Through our project, which is the National Youth Parliament, na doon ma-i-air mo yung mga sentiments mo, na this would be the sources na para magkaroon ka ng idea kung ano ba yung policies na magagawa mo.
Okay, maraming salamat, Rosary. On a side note, kanina na-mention, ang your college's youth ambassador and ambassadors are not so-called champions or beauty queens, but they are your ambassador and ambassadress. Para na din po sa kaalaman nyo ng lahat, they're advocating advocacies. So, i-correct natin yun, okay? Tagalin po natin yung term na champion. So, narinig nyo nga mga Tomasino ang mainit na diskusyon mula sa ating mga kandidato at sa ating mga panelists. Maya-maya lamang tutunghayan natin ang pagdedebate at ang pagbibigay ng mga katanungan ng bawat isa. Kaya naman mga Tomasino, tumutok lamang at magbabalik ang Harapan 2015.